War and Peace Diaries, Episode 2.
Hello, so today this is the second video in the series of War and Peace Diaries. So last time I talked about the book. It was basically about the introduction of the book and how I was finding the book, entering into it. Right now I am 481 pages into the book, and if I complete my day's reading, I'll be over 500 pages today. So how am I finding this book? It is wonderful. It is the best book that I've ever read, and every single page, every single word, every single sentence is worth reading. So if you are intimidated by the size of the book, you should not be. Especially after crossing the 400 page mark, it has been wonderful. It has been a ride, and I cannot put this book down. And sometimes I fail to notice how fast I am reading this. I have this target of every day I read around 30 pages from this book, and I cannot tell when I moved from 200 to 300, then 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So it's been quite a ride. It's wonderful. So a lot of things I've been connecting with, a lot of beautiful quotes, a lot of beautiful passages, a lot of beautiful things, especially the character development of the main characters. So I've been liking Andrei from the start. Pierre has been quite a dumb person. Sometimes I feel like punching him in the spinal cord to wake his central nervous system up to reality. But he has been improving, his character has been developing. And then Nikolai Rostov, whom I did not like that much in the beginning of the book, but now I am falling for his character. And Boris as well, and Natasha as well. She's wonderful. She's such a strong character, and I think there is more to come of her. There will be a lot of things which I love in the coming pages, the rest of the book. And so a lot of things have been happening. So this video is not going to be spoiler free. I'm just going to dive into a lot of things which I wanted to talk about. So first of all, Andrei. So he is back. Okay, where should I start? A lot of things that has happened. It is very difficult to summarize 400 rich pages into a short video. So Andrei has been going through a lot of character development. He has been he was in the war, and then he was supposed to be dead, but then he came back on the day his wife Lise was into labor, and Lise died of childbirth, and her death has had a great impact on Andrei. He has been in quite a low phase, although right now he is gearing up to action. And after he met Pierre and their meeting was so enriching. It's been so wonderful. I underlined complete pages when they met. They were talking about stuff. Pierre joined the Freemasonry because he wanted to find some truth after separating from his wife Helene, who was having an affair with one of his friends, Dolokhov. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah. So he nearly killed Dolokhov in a duel. And after that he joined the Freemasonry. He's trying to find some truth in there. He's sometimes baffled by it, but also his character has been developing a lot. He has become more introspective and more nice person, actually, much nicer, he's developing very beautifully. And although he does dumb things, still you can't fall out of love with him. You care for Pierre. You're like, you're the dumbest person I've ever seen. After me. But don't do this. Don't do these things. I care for you. Don't walk your way into troubles. But still you care for him, and he's been developing very beautifully, as I said. So Andrei we were talking about. So his wife's death has had a very deep impact on him, so much as he thinks, he thinks that he is at fault. It was because of him. He finds himself at fault for what happened, and this is so beautiful, right? It is also a contrast, between the death in war and death in peace. Death in war, millions of soldiers die. We were in the hospitals where the soldiers were in the most horrendous conditions, and people were just lying dead around and nobody cared for them. They were in a pathetic condition. And Andrei himself has seen a lot of people in the battlefield, in the hospitals who are dead, who are suffering, and not for even their own fault. But when he sees his wife, the impact it has on him, that he feels that he is at fault for whatever happened with her. And then you think about the portion in the book where Napoleon was visiting one of these battlefields, after the battle had been won, the battle of Austerlitz, and he was seeing these dead people, these wounded soldiers. And when you think about war, it is really the emperors, the kings, these people who decide on war, and the consequences of it are faced by the people, by the soldiers, by their families. We also saw when Andrei was supposed to be dead, what impact it had on his father, Count Bolkonsky. And as I was saying, that Napoleon, he does not feel guilty of those deaths, although he should. And also Tsar, when he saw this person, person dead, he felt unwell seeing him. And after many scenes, when Kutuzov went to him with all these, war strategies and something, he said that it is not for me to think about it. The war is for you to think about. But the ones who decide the wars is him. It's so, yeah. But yeah, the rulers, they are the ones who decide for war. But they still don't feel guilty seeing those people dying. They really don't care about it. But Andrei, who sees his wife dead, he feels himself at fault for it. Although it was not his fault. He did not love his wife. Yes. But he has been in a low phase. He's comparing himself to the oak tree, and although I think now there is some things are starting to look up, and after meeting Pierre also, he has it really impacted him. And I really love whenever Andrei and Pierre meet, it is something deep. Sometimes I feel like they are the two sides of the same coin. And when they met, I wrote here that no matter what separates them, time, space, ideas, Andrei and Pierre share this deep connection, that they are able to express their true selves with each other alone. So it has been this, after crossing the 400 page mark, it has been quite a ride. It has been really wonderful. It has been filled with love and filled with some deepest things, and it's beautiful. And you can see I've underlined complete pages. Yeah, it is wonderful. I don't know, I can't, sometimes I'm short of words to explain this book. It is amazing. It is the best book I have read till now, and I think it will be one of my favorite books forever. And also I am really excited to reread this book once I read it, and I'll experiment with different translations, as I said in the previous video as well. So also I wanted to talk about Natasha. She's such a strong character. I love her. And I don't know, I heard somewhere that Tolstoy was a little misogynistic in his writings. I don't know. Well, sometimes I feel that, but then he has such strong characters, such strong, like Natasha, and a lot of things. Let me show you. There was this beautiful. Okay. So then Helene, who was Pierre's wife, with whom he has reunited, and she is this big name among the highest of societies. And Pierre, her husband, Tolstoy writes about Pierre that in the eyes of the world, Pierre was a great gentleman, the rather blind and absurd husband of a distinguished wife, a clever crank who did nothing but harmed nobody, and was a first-rate, good-natured fellow. But a complex and difficult process of internal development was taking place all this time in Pierre's soul, revealing much to him and causing him many spiritual doubts and joys, which is really wonderful to see him transform, to see him develop. It's been so beautiful. And one of my favorite quotes come from Pierre after this duel with Dolokhov, he says that but if you are alive, live. Tomorrow you'll die, as I might have died an hour ago. And is it worth tormenting oneself when one has only a moment of life in comparison with eternity? That's been so wonderful. Is there something else that I want to read out to you? Yes, I want to talk about Rostov as well, Nikolai Rostov. I did not like him very much in the beginning. He was sort of so full of the youth or the young ideas, I don't know, like young people are. But now he I think his has been the most beautiful development up till now that I have felt. He's developing so beautifully. I'm in love with his character development. He has become more responsible, more mature, more empathetic, and yeah, I am loving it. I only wish that I had more tabs to mark his development as well. It's been wonderful. Boris has been there, and Princess Maria, and yeah. Oh, here's this line, which is, I don't know, said by Rostov. When was it? I don't remember, but yeah. How can you judge what's best? He cried, the blood suddenly rushing to his face. How can you judge the emperor's actions? What right have we to argue? We cannot comprehend either the emperor's aims or his actions. Yeah, it's really something to. It's when it was this book was described as life itself. It was not an over-exaggeration. Over-exaggeration. No, it's not good. It was not an exaggeration. I sometimes am Michael Scott, but that's okay. It's beautiful. And it's been wonderful. Pierre has been writing these diaries, and yeah. And Andrei, he's coming back to life. And I really would love to see Pierre's character development. And yeah. And also, I think I was reading Pride and Prejudice. I mentioned that in a video as well, and then I stopped reading it. So because I was so deep into Anna Karenina, I was reading it, the only book that I was reading, and I was having the best time of my life. The characters were having the worst of their lives, but I stopped reading it for a while. But now, yesterday, I just picked it up, and let me get the book. So yesterday I picked the book up, and now I think I am becoming more appreciative, appreciative of the wit of the character of Elizabeth Bennet. Was the most amazing woman, and I think that has been because I was reading Natasha, and such both beautiful women, and I would really love to see Natasha more, and adore her. So I think I've been able to see Elizabeth, from a new light, and I admire her, I adore her. She's so witty, intelligent, amazing, and I hope that I can be like her. Earlier I was much more into Mr. Darcy, Colin Firth, and everything, but now I'm appreciating the character of Elizabeth, Miss Bennet, more, and yes, that's been wonderful. So, and also other books that I've been reading, actually I've put the phone on top of those books. Let me do something to. Okay. So, I've been reading Home in the World, which is Professor Amartya Sen's biography, not biography, but like memoir. And then I've been reading John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed. I've just read a couple of chapters. And Shakespeare, well, I tried to read it. Sorry for the mess. But I tried to read Macbeth, but I don't know. Why can't I read it? I don't know. And then there has been these two books. This book has been wonderful. I've marked it also
yeah, I'm loving it. I think the best memoir that I have ever read, I think. Yeah. And then there's been this book, which has been wonderful again. I've read a couple of things from here and I underlined. Loving it. So that has been it. I've been loving this book and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. And also, I can see here, there is Yevgeny Onegin by Alexander Pushkin. So I would love to read it. I can't talk now. It's very cold outside. It's foggy. It is windy, breezy, and it is raining. It's very, very cold. I can't wait to get back into my bed. So yeah, these are the books that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, that's all.